We're going to talk a little football because tonight, my goodness, kicks off with a bang. Two great teams, not only in the NFC North, but really in the entire National Football League. Detroit and Green Bay are going to go against each other in Motown. Both defenses have really been playing lights out the last few weeks. So which offense can break through in prime time? That is the question. These two teams vying for the top seed in the NFC. Detroit is in the driver's seat to get the bye in the NFC playoffs, but a win for Green Bay, of course, tonight would greatly improve their chances. And so now the question is, what team needs that one seed more in the NFC? We're going to go away from the Packers here, and we're going to go with the Lions or the Eagles. What do you think?
I'm going to say Philadelphia needs the one seed. Now, the reality is all these teams want the one seed, right?
Yeah.
We know every team wants the one seed, every team wants to bye, every team wants to play at home. The reason why I say Philadelphia needs it the most is it's a little bit more Detroit-centric for me. I want to dispute some narratives about Detroit and Jared Goff. Okay, so first, there's one team that's undefeated on the road this year in the NFL. The Detroit Lions are 6-0. They're the only team in the league that has gone on the road and won every single game that they've done so. Two, they're 12-3 on the road in the last 2 seasons. That's the best record in the NFL. 3, everyone talks about Jared Goff and says what when he has to go play on the road in weather?
Not anymore.
Can't get it done, right?
Not anymore.
You know Jared Goff's QBR on the road is better than his QBR at home this year? So everyone thinks that Detroit has to get this number one seed and Jared Goff needs to play in the Dome. And if this team doesn't get to play in Detroit, they're not going to be good enough, or Jared Goff's not going to be able to get it done, even though he's gone to the freaking Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game, respectively, for 2 different teams. I think Philadelphia, just because Detroit's capable. Detroit has proven that no matter where and when, they can get it done. Do they want it at home? Of course they want it at home. But I just say Philadelphia because I think Detroit has proven, Jared Goff has proven, we'll play in a parking lot and get it done.
Yeah, but when you look at the upper echelon teams in the NFC, the teams that we think can make a run to the Super Bowl, there's only one head coach quarterback tandem that has actually done it, and that is Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I will say the Detroit Lions for a little bit of a different reason. I think the bye is more important for the Detroit Lions from a health standpoint. When you look at their season, they've been marred by injury. 18 guys on IR, 13 of those guys on the defensive side of the ball. They're dealing with Josh Pascal and DJ Reader being banged up right now. We know about Alex Anzalone and Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep.
They're trying to work in Jamal Adams and Quan Alexander to that defensive rotation. Carlton Davis, their number one corner, is just now getting back from injury. So from a health standpoint, I think being able to have an opportunity to get that first round bye during the wild card weekend is going to do worlds for Detroit. But Dano, I agree with you. For the Detroit Lions, looking at it big picture, they have a style of play that would lead you to believe that they can go on the road and win football games.
Sure.
So if that ends up being
I think
the
Philly
case,
does too, though,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I don't want to be.
To be fair, Philly does.
We
too.
just haven't seen it like we have Detroit.
We haven't seen it when it comes like Detroit, but then there's also the business of the Detroit Lions having the best offensive line in football, the best offensive lineman in football, having the best running back tandem in football with Sonic and Knuckles. I mean, when you look at that, you have to feel good if Detroit has to go on the road. But I think because of the injuries, because of the health, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they need that first round bye more than any of those other upper echelon teams in the NFC.
I like what you're talking about with injuries, but I believe it's Philly. And my reason for Philly is how they've played since they've come back from that bye. If they have that number one seed, that means they've continued it throughout the end of this season over the next 5 weeks, and because of what their schedule is. They have their 3rd easiest schedule. So for them to finish strong and continue the run that they've been on since the bye, they're